Hi everybody, welcome back to another bite-sized tutorial. In the last video we made a simple button that once you pressed it an event would occur for the remainder of the scene. In this scenario we're going to make a switch so that it has an on and off state, and depending on what state it is, it's going to make an event happen. So for example, right now the pillar would be on an off state, and when we put it on the on state it's just going to come down so that Charlie can get inside and get his gem. Okay, so these are going to be the main components of making the switch. You're going to want to use a trigger zone, a text displayer for a visual cue, a controller sensor for the button input, a selector, a cute little sound effect if you'd like, and a keyframe. So let's go ahead and open up the button microchip. And the first thing, of course, we're going to want to do is you're going to want to use a trigger zone. So just to save some time, I've already gone ahead and modified the zone, but you want to make it so that it's not behind the switch. We don't want them to activate it if they're behind the switch. We just want the player to activate it when they're in front of it. The next thing, we're going to want to use a text displayer. So what this is going to do is it's going to send out a signal to the player to tell them that they have to press square to turn on the switch. And this is only going to get turned on when the player enters the zone. And also at that same time you're going to want to turn on the controller sensor. Now I just want to show you guys something really quick. When you take out the controller sensor, you're going to have two different wires. You can just go ahead and remove those. And this is very important, guys. I want you guys to go into the important properties tab of it, and I want you to change it to remote controllable. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're just going to want to use that sound effect. So every time the player presses square or whatever button you want them to press, the sound effect is going to go on. And finally we're going to want to use the selector. Now this is going to be the most important part of the switch. I just want you guys to keep in mind that A is going to be the off output, and I'm sorry, A is going to be the off state and B is going to be the on state. So we're going to want to use the square button or whatever button you want the player to use, and we're going to want to give that to the move to next output. So I'm going to move that to show you guys exactly where the wire goes. So square or whatever button you're using into the move to next output input of the selector. And finally we're going to want to use this keyframe to do the event that we want to happen. So like I mentioned before, A is going to be the off state where absolutely nothing happens, and B is going to be the on state where the event does happen. So we want to go use this keyframe, and we're going to make that little ramp for Charlie like we said earlier. There we go. I think that looks perfect. We are also want to go in here and make sure that the player has some sort of visual cue that what they pressed actually worked, and the switch is going to go down just like that. And that's all there is to it, guys. That's how you make a switch. Now I just want to make sure with the trigger zone, yep, we didn't do it. Make sure that you set it to tag and that you set to the player, or Charlie in this case, because I have a tag here for Charlie. You can find that under the tag in the green zones for the I guess gadgets is what we would call it, yeah. And you can press L1 and square, open up this little menu and click X on the tag text, and you can change the name from there. So that's it, guys. Let's just test it out, make sure it works. Oh, sorry, I just gotta rewind time. Okay, so right now we don't see the square button. We don't know that anything happens. When we get closer to it, the square button comes up, and if we press square, we're gonna see that two things are happening. The switch is animating so that we know that it's going on and off, and the pillar is actually going back to its original state and to its on state. Off state, on state. How cool is that, guys? And that's it. That's all there is to a switch, guys. Thanks so much for watching.